Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Board of Adjustment for the Town of Ocean View. Before we start, I remind you about your cell phones, please, and make sure that you have signed in at the back table. And please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First menu part is the approval of the agenda for today.
I move we approve.
I second.
Motion has carried. Now we have approval of the minutes of way back in July 18th for the Board of Adjustment.
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion has carried, excuse me. Okay, our first call for business is for South Primrose Lane, and since I live in that development, I must recuse myself. So, Mr. Nooner, the gavel is yours.
Thank you, Susan. I'll stay right here.
All right, so Madam Chair, we'll need you to leave the
To
building.
leave completely?
Yeah, to leave or go where you cannot hear.
Oh, okay,
you
I
need to
thought
leave.
I could just leave.
If you'll go in the back.
No problem, I thought I could switch it back.
And we will need the new business fully read on the record.
Ma'am?
We'll need the full business read on the record.
The full business?
Yeah, I just need you to state on the record, or I can do it, what the application is hearing.
Okay, all right, yes. Our first application is application V455 for 27 South Primrose Lane, Lot B-40, Country Village. And Mr. Semino, did you want to introduce the application?
Yes, thank you.
Before that, Mr. Semino and Madam Clerk, do you, when I want to swear you in, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth before the board this evening?
Yes.
I do.
All right, thank you very much.
Application V455 is submitted by the property owner, Jennifer Marson, for property zone R1 Single Family Residential District located at 27 South Primrose Lane. Property identification number 001.400, county tax map number 134-12.00-786.00. The property owner is seeking a variance from Article 5, Section 140-32, in order for a proposed attached accessory structure, in this case a one-car garage, to project 5 feet into the required 15-foot side yard setback. Comments from the Office of Planning, Zoning and Development. Section 140-32, accessory buildings and structures. Building setback is the same as the principal building or structure, which would be 15 feet, since it is in R1. The applicant owns a parcel of land that is only 85.81 plus or minus feet wide. The number of the lots in this community are closer to 100 feet wide. The narrowness of the parcel will cause the garage to extend 5 feet into the required 15-foot side yard setback. As proposed, the addition of the garage will result in approximately 25.3% lot coverage, which is less than the 35% maximum allowed by town. Included with the variance application is a copy of the Country Village Building and Environmental Committee approval for this project, as well as a letter of no objection from Ms. Susan Rennan, the owner of neighboring Lot 39B. Should the Board of Adjustment choose to approve this variance, it should be noted that the applicant will then proceed with the single lot development review process as required by 140-100 of the Town Code, as is customary for this type of improvement. A grading plan and as-built survey will be required. Both plans will be reviewed for code compliance by the town engineer.
Are you ready for the applicant to come forward?
Yes, we
Or
are.
do you guys first, do you have any questions of Mr. Semino?
I do not. Anybody on the?
No, sir.
Make a motion?
Oh, no,
We
we,
have to hear the presentation from the applicant.
Oh, they haven't had a presentation.
Yes.
Mr. Semino, you have nothing further to say, correct?
I just wanted the board to keep in mind that the lot is exceptionally narrow for an R1 lot in Old Town, Ocean View. Usually lots in the first sections of the town of Ocean View, Mitchell Estates, cottages, country estates, country village, they're generally about 100 foot wide. This lot is 15 feet narrow.
Thank you, Mr. Semino. Any other questions? The applicant here?
Yes.
Yes, would you come forward, please?
And please state your full name and address for the record, and then I'm gonna swear you in.
Okay. Jennifer Larson, 27 South Primrose Lane, Ocean View, Delaware.
Thank you, Ms. Marson. And do you swear to tell the truth and the whole truth before the board this evening?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
As Mr. Semino
Semino.
Stated, I am looking to build an attached garage. I have one of the smallest homes, if not the smallest home in my development, and I'm looking to improve it, the storage area. And in order to do that, I just need 5 feet on that side. My neighbor, again, has submitted her approval. I've received approval from the HOA that I have submitted. And I've tried to figure out exactly other ways to do this. And I'd have to go detached and bring my driveway around, which would take up more of my lot, and then keep me from possibly adding on to my small home in the future, so.
And for the record, can you tell us, is it the neighbor that is gonna be next to the garage is the one that has submitted her no objection?
Yes,
All right, so the neighbor most impacted has basically said she does not object.
yes. And also I wanted to add, her property currently is 19 feet from the property line, so there would be total between the two properties, it would be 29 feet. So it'd just be a foot short of that 30 for, a 15 and a 15-foot setback.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you know if you were to build a separate garage in the rear of the house, would the additional driveway area cause you to go over the 35% lot limitation?
I believe it would be very close.
And then you would be prohibited from doing anything else?
Exactly, and I do have a shed back there, if you look at the survey,
It's
so
right.
I believe I would need to get rid of the shed as well, which I just replaced the roof on when I moved into the home back in 2013. It's a nice big shed. I'd have to move everything out of my shed into a storage unit while I built the garage, and because I have nowhere else to put it, so it would be a big hardship. Again, and then I would lose that structure. And then again, I'd be 15 feet, so it kind of put it right behind my house where my kitchen window is, so I know that's, it's kind of, it could be possible, but yeah, it would. I'd really like to put a screen porch on the back again. It's a very small home and, around a lot of beautiful houses, so I'm looking to improve it to be on equal plane as my neighbors in the neighborhood as much as
Understand.
possible.
Yes, I understand. Any other questions, gentlemen? Mr. Semino?
I would just like to add that the applicant did work with code compliance official Greg Durston, and they worked on this application and various layouts and scenarios And this was the best one we seemed to come up with. And our office doesn't have any objection to this variance.
Anything else? Counselor?
No.
Do we have a motion then?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the variance is the minimum that will afford relief. She's worked with the township to work out the configuration.
Oh, can I, excuse me, one thing, I apologize. Do we have any public comment? Any people here to object or approve? Okay. For the record, nobody's objected or approved, I'm sorry.
That's fine. It's not going to alter the essential character of the neighborhood. That's my motion.
Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The application is approved.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, she's coming in. Glad you remembered.
Good job. I remember. But yes. I think
Keep us
we
straight.
did okay.
I could see, but I couldn't hear you.
Madam Chair, you got your gavel back?
I've got my gavel back, I could see you, but I could not hear you. Okay, here we are. Our next case is V456, 36 Hudson Avenue. And I would assume, since you're the last gentleman here, that it is your case.
And I will remind the clerk and the planning director that they're still under oath. And Madam Clerk, I just want to verify that all notices and advertisements have been made as required by code on this application.
Okay, Mr. Semino,
Certainly.
would you like to speak to us about this
Yes, ma'am,
application?
Madam Chair. Before you this afternoon, Madam Chair, is Mr. Jonathan DeCanio of 32 Hudson Avenue. You may recall that Mr. DeCanio was here on October the 19th, 2023, seeking a variance from Article 5, 14028, and from Article 16, 140, 100. This is for 14028 was for lot coverage to exceed 35%, and Article 16, 140, 100D was for existing driveway to exceed the maximum allowable feet through the right-of-way of 20 feet. Both variances were denied. He elected to have the case decided together. Since then, Mr. DeCanio and his surveyor, they've worked with the town to address the matter. They've submitted a plan in which has not been constructed yet. This is a proposed plan for the board's approval. He's still here today. Mr. DeCanio is here. Application V455. Submitted by the property owner, Jonathan DeCanio, for property zoned R1, single-family
It's a
residential district.
456.
456.
456, excuse
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I don't like the way y'all laid these out this time. For a property located at 32 Hudson Avenue, property identification number 099.150, county tax map number 134-12.00-1544.00. The property owner is seeking a variance from Article 5, Section 14028, in order for all existing buildings and structures on the lot to exceed the maximum allowable lot coverage. So basically what we have here is Mr. DeCanio worked through this with his surveyor we have a proposed plan in front of us that corrects the driveway width at the right-of-way, brings it into 20 feet, and also corrects the lot coverage. Mr. Canio, and I'll read the town's overview. Maximum coverage of lot area, including all buildings and structures, is 35%. The applicant previously appeared before the Board of Adjustment on October 19, 2023, seeking a variance for lot coverage that exceeded the maximum allowable of 35% and was denied. At the time, the existing lot coverage was 39.9%, or 4.9% greater than the allowable by the town code. The applicant is before the Board of Adjustment today seeking a variance for lot coverage that exceeds the maximum allowable of 35% by 1.2%, for a total of 36.2%. This proposed plan includes the removal of all impervious cover up to the extent possible for this new home site. The 1.2% the applicant is seeking is due to an error by the contractor during construction, which resulted in the footprint of the dwelling unit being constructed 1.2% larger than what was proposed to be constructed. The applicant is down as far as he can go without cutting off portions of his home. It's been a year now. They've worked extensively with us to get this down to something manageable. They have addressed the overage for the driveway wider than 20 feet and brought that within to make it code compliant. So basically, I think this really is the most reasonable and best the applicant can do.
Mr. Green, would you prefer to come forward, please, and be sworn in?
Can you state your name and your address for the record?
Jonathan DeCanio, 32 Hudson, Ocean View.
And Mr. DeCanio, you swear to tell the truth before the board this evening?
I do.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, questions for Mr. DeCanio?
Question for Mr. Simino. Isn't there some amount of overage that you have authority to approve administratively rather
No.
than go through the?
Not on lot coverage.
Not on lot
It
coverage.
has to do with feet, anything up to.
Setbacks?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's just, when I saw how small the amount was, I wondered why this just wasn't approved administratively, so thank you.
Mr. DeCanio, do you have anything you want to say or to the board?
No, I believe he addressed our situation. And I've been trying to work, we've been working for the last year to try and come to a solution. And this is where we are. So.
Other gentlemen, any questions?
No?
All right, so the only thing I would ask before we make any further, are there any comments from the public? And for the record, there's nobody else in the public except Mr. DeCanio,
That's
so
right.
there are no public comments. Okay.
Okay, then we need, someone needs to make,
Madam Chair?
yes,
Sorry.
either one of you.
I make a motion to support the variance and to grant it, but I'd like to read this into the record. I do have reservations regarding the applicant's claim that this difficulty was not a result of anything that they did. Referring back to the previous application dated October 19th, 2023, the board did not accept that claim at the time. And this was new construction and should have been supervised to the extent that the builder was following the submitted plans to the town. I feel that this finding still applies to this application. However, I do agree that the applicant is showing good faith in an effort to attempting to mitigate this problem, and the remaining 1.2% lot coverage exceedance would represent a hindrance to the reasonable use of this property if the variance wasn't granted. So I do make a motion to approve the variance.
Do I hear,
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Your motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're gonna go and do the
Okay.
construction on it?
Yeah.
Now, while they're talking, we need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I motion we adjourn the meeting, Madam Chair.
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
A motion accepted. We are done.
Thank you.